is the Big O Show.
There he is. There he is. There he is. Appreciate it. Thank you all out there for hanging in there. Omar, you dry?
No, I actually just went outside to do my weed and feed on my lawn in a light rain, just because I do not have a sprinkler system. And this is the great opportunity to get some weed and feed down, get it all saturated by the time the storm is done. Your weeds will be killed, your battle with that will be strong, and your lawn will be green.
All right. I like that. I like that. All right. That's
just some homeowner stuff.
Smart move on your part with the rain coming. You get that stuff in there. It gets into the ground right away.
For those who don't know, I'm a big lawn and gardening guy. I want to eventually get into like landscaping, but it's a nice hobby. I enjoy it.
It's interesting. We got an interesting sponsor coming up, joining the family.
Yeah.
Landscaping.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's interesting that you bring that up, actually. So
yeah. I'd love some tips. So yeah,
we'll get you involved with them. They're actually really good dudes, man. They're big sports fans and all that. So it's cool. It's cool. We'll introduce you to them. They're actually interesting. Hell, they have a show and everything. So you might end up.
Show? Okay.
Yeah. So it's big stuff. Yeah, we're growing slowly but surely, man. You know how it is. It's one of those deals. But anyway, let's get to the dissection of Tua and the family. And it's funny how this is that season, this off season where we got to find out whether the quarterback can play or not. This and that, if he's the guy or not. And then the other thing is trying to dissect whether Mike McDaniel's doing the right thing or not as a coach. And leading into your segment here, I was talking about this, and I saw Dave Hyde's article. There's no right way or wrong way to coach.
Yeah.
That's to me, that's the silliest thing at times. If anybody thinks every coach is an ogre, it's actually not true, because Tony Dungy never had to raise his voice to anybody, and he's a great coach. And Tom Flores was the same way. Tom Flores was quiet and unassuming, and he has 2 titles with the Raiders. And there is no right way. And for anybody to make a determination and say, "Oh, the way McDaniel's doing it, it'll never work," I'm definitely not going to say that. And here's the other thing, Omar. Maybe you agree with me or not. With today's kids, younger people, he might be the right way and the right approach.
One, it's funny that you said that, because I've been thinking about this generation and talking a lot about this generation on I Am Athlete Tonight, because we got an older generation of hosts, right. And I always say to them, there's a delineation between your generation of players. Even though every guy played 10, 11, 13 years, it's like they saw the change. You've seen the change. Change. This is a more sensitive era of players. They don't like to be coach hard, and they will point out to me, "Hey, we didn't like to be coach hard then either, too. You couldn't fire and brimstone us." Like the Jimmy Johnson coaches would not have really survived in the last generation. But there is no right or wrong way to coach a team or coach a player. I think you have to take everybody as an individual and treat them differently. I do believe that the ideal coach is a quarterback whisperer who is a leader of men. If you can handle that, you cover all your bases, except for defense. And then you just have to hire a good defensive coordinator. But a quarterback whisperer is a guy who can help a young quarterback get better from where he is, and push him up 5-6 tiers from a quarterback status. We don't know if that's Mike McDaniel's yet. And then a leader of men is a guy who can stand up in front of a room full of 53 of the most physical and aggressive guys in your city and tell them that you're going to push around another group of 53 of the most aggressive guys from another city. I've always been a big believer in that, but he also can't turn off his room. That's the problem that Gase had. Gase, you throw so many guys under the bus. Eventually, everybody's like, "Oh, he threw you under the bus. Oh, he threw you under the bus. He threw me under the bus. Okay, well, we can't trust this guy." So you have to make sure that you have a good command of your good feel of your team and a good command of your leaders of your team, and strong leaders can lead your locker room.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. Listen, I've always said this about players, and this is the part that's misunderstood with people. All a coach has to do is prove that he knows how to coach and put the player in position to succeed. After that, believe it or not, they will tolerate the a-hole, because that's what they
Yes.
do.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, they
No
will
question.
tolerate Belichick because he
Yes.
helps you win. But if he didn't help you win, dude, they might knock his ass out.
Yeah. No question. I think Brian Flores is a good example of that. After starting 1-7, the team didn't quit on him, even though he was an a-hole.
Right.
He changed his approach during that run at the end of the season. I don't think it helped him win over teams, but they never quit on him. That's the one thing. You can say whatever you want about
they didn't quit. No,
Brian Flores team. They didn't quit on him.
If you're finishing strong, then you're not quitting.
Yeah. There's no doubt they didn't quit on him.
Now, here's the other side of it that I hate also. Okay? Because we make it sound like these guys aren't professionals and they don't care, because you can have a shitty editor, and I'm sure in your history you've had a shitty editor.
Indeed.
And when you have a shitty editor, it doesn't mean you stop being a good reporter and a good writer.
Bro.
So you can have a shitty coach like Cam Cameron, and yet you're still playing hard every week, even though you know he's an idiot. But that's the only thing I don't like, Omar, that we lump it all to the coach, and we give no credit to the players for being
I don't think you go the extra mile
for doing their jobs.
I don't think you go the extra mile for a Cam Cameron coach team.
No, what I'm saying is, Omar, that these players, a lot of them are going to be just pros.
A lot
too,
of them
no
are
matter what. Yeah,
but
exactly.
I would put a number. I would put a number on the professionals.
Okay, that's fine.
20, and
Percent?
then there's 20 guys. And then there's another.
Out of the 53 that are starting, out of the 53 that are playing, you're saying 20 are trying?
Let me finish.
All right.
I would say 20 guys are professionals. 15 guys are young guys who don't know what the bleep they're doing.
That's a great point.
And they follow and then there's another 20 guys who are just there for the money and just going through the motions, and they'll follow whatever crowd, and the 15 guys, they'll follow whatever crowd is the strongest.
I got you. Okay. I can, you know what? I can
and sometimes without the good leader, the 20 professionals get tuned out. And then sometimes without the good leader and a bad team, the 20 guys who 5 of them got hurt, they'll be like, yeah, I'm out. I'm checking out. Like,
right.
I'm not playing through pain for this.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And I'm telling you the dynamic of things I've seen in 15 years. You know, you could have the Jason Taylors on your team, but in Cam Cameron era, they're getting tuned out. Right. And, you know, they get by the 5th rally cry, I ain't listening no more.
No, you're right. But I will say there's a lot of players on a team that they're going to play hard no matter what, dude. You know what I mean? Whoever coaches Cam Wake, it doesn't really matter, bro. The guy's going to Byron Jones. It doesn't really matter who's coaching those kind of guys. They're going to play hard no matter what. You know what I mean? I think because those are character people as it is. So, and you have a group of those players pretty much on every team. I just don't like to lump it over all to the coach when a lot of the players deserve credit for being professional.
For instance, I'll give you a good example. Adam Gase's final year, that game in Buffalo, where they did not want him to come back.
Right.
Do you know the number of guys who checked out of that game? Like, I'm
sure.
good.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm
not playing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh,
and some of those guys were good guys. Bobby McCain, good guy, good leader, checked out, was out. Cam Wake checked out of that game. Andre Branch, he wanted him fired. There's all kinds of things that go on in a team, and sometimes you don't know until after the fact. But these players, they know, they talk. They're like, we're not going to sit here and bust our butt for this guy who's going to throw us on the bus, and we don't want him to come back. Nah,
right, but when you're talking about a specific game and it's like the last game of the year, that might be different. When we're talking about a whole stretch of games, it can't be just the coach. It has to be the players too.
Sometimes players check out mid-season. You've seen
yeah. But if you're playing hard, I have to give players credit too. Is all I'm saying. It's just not fair to say. Oh no, it's all. Oh, they responded to the coach.
Yeah,
no, they responded because.
What did you put on film last?
Exactly. They responded because they're professionals, because they're getting paid, because they got incentives to meet. That's why they got to put food on the table. That's why they responded. It's not only because of the coach. It's just one of those things. All right. Do you like the fact that Tua is a little bit coming out of his shell now? And it seems like, again, this is something that McDaniel, I think, has given everyone an opportunity. This is not just a Tua thing. I think this is kind of his MO with all players. Like, hey, I'm going to give you the opportunity. I'm going to give you an opportunity to have you show your personality, and let's see what you got. Do you like this? Do you think this is progress for Tua and for the team?
We got spicy Tua yesterday.
Right? Yes, sir.
That's after facing months of criticism, after being a national punchline because of the video that the Dolphins organization put out, and people raising questions about his ability to throw the deep ball.
Well, people overreacting on a video that the Dolphins put out.
And I can promise you, there were 2 deep balls yesterday, and I can promise you that the second one, you'll never see the light of day because it wasn't perfect. And Dolphins are fearful of having that blowback again. So there is a sensitivity level. Now, Tua was spicy yesterday, and I don't have a problem with it. But I don't think that's going to continue or be who he is or the theme of who he is. I think he's a little bit too guarded for that. But I will say this, he was spicy yesterday because he had a good practice. If he hadn't had a good practice, do you think he would have been spicy?
No, of course not.
Okay. So sometimes it's the situation, and mind you.
Yeah, but all this silliness of overreact. Yesterday, they're talking about Deshaun Watson throwing pick sixes. It's like stupid. We're overreacting on May and June football. Deshaun Watson's with new players and a new offense. Dolphins are in. That's the one thing they are doing. They're in a new offense, so everything should be.
There is a new offense.
Nothing's going to be smooth, and to think that every day in practice you're going to throw every ball perfect.
No. That's not the expectation. That's not the expectation. Here's the thing. I wrote a column criticizing what I saw the first day of minicamp, because understand it was not excusable. There was and you weren't there. People were there, and unfortunately, because of where we are in this point of the season, fans have to take my word for it as opposed to them seeing it out there. If that was an open mini camp practice and 6,000 fans were there, they would have lit this town and this team on fire. But
it's May football.
It doesn't matter what it is. It really does. There's a level.
It does matter. You haven't practiced enough. There are no pads. This means nothing.
There is a level. There's a level of proficiency that you need to have. That's a baseline, and it was not there. And it wasn't just Tua; it was everybody. Now the players justified it by saying, "Hey, we went into a meeting for 30 to an hour, installed a bunch of stuff, and then said, hey, go out and run it." And that's going to be a very difficult practice.
Of course.
But there should be a level of some kind of efficiency. My biggest issue, if I had to say one criticism about that practice I saw like half a dozen balls batted down at the line of scrimmage. I'm sorry. That there shouldn't be a day where there are half dozen balls batted down the line. I mean, half dozen balls batted down the line of scrimmage. Like, I get it. The defensive players are good. Find your lanes, find your angles. That's not acceptable. Like, I could allow the sacks.
Yeah, but you don't have a settled line.
True, that's fair. But
so that's my point of all this.
Whenever
you're over criticizing
No.
May and June football in a new offense that doesn't have a line yet because they don't know who's even playing guard right now.
They have 4 of
Hell,
starters.
I'm still not even believing that Connor Williams will be there at center permanently.
He'll be their center. They have 4 of the 5 starters on the line right now. So who's
the right tackle?
I can't tell you that, but you can guess.
No, but I mean, it can't be permanent.
He's the right tackle. Trust me, he's the right.
I mean,
tackle.
I can see Hunt at guard, and if you're gonna have Connor there for now experimenting.
It's not an experiment. It's not an experiment. They're done.
We'll see when we're deep into the preseason, then I'll believe it's no longer an experiment.
Trust me, that they've realized Michael Dieter's not the answer.
Yeah, I know. Obviously, if they're doing that with Connor, but still, I know he's had snapping issues. Then the left side, obviously, Tehran is set. So
he's not there. He's not there. I'm just going to column in the Sun Sentinel. Everything that you're watching is incomplete, and
that's my problem with all that.
Yeah, because you can't see the run game. You're not seeing pads. You're not seeing be physical. You're not seeing them cut down guys and cut blocking. So it's all incomplete. But my issue is the passing game should look a lot better than it's looking right now. You can't have this many weapons playing against Noah Igbenogany and Nick Needham and Elijah Campbell, and it looked like that. Like, no. There's nothing. And it's not Tua. Don't say it's Tua. It's every quarterback. It's every receiver. There has to be a better level of efficiency and execution.
Yeah, no, I mean.
They had 2 deep balls yesterday, but outside of those 2 deep balls and maybe 6 passes, the rest of it was trash. And now I'm saying 2 scores, and Tyreek had a nice sideline dance off a quick hitch that he's the fastest player I've ever seen. Where he can skirt a sideline and just be gone 40 yards. He should not be a one-man offense. There's too many players, too many weapons, too many pieces. Yes, I know you're not running, but there shouldn't be a one-man offense.
No, it's just to me that it's so incomplete right now. What you're doing
you're making these excuses in June. Understand they wrap in a week and then show up again at the end of July and then practice for 3 weeks before they play games. I'm telling you right now, this is not debatable. If this is what you're walking into training camp with, what you wrap with next week, you're in trouble. And your offense is gonna take off to half point of the season. I've been here. I've seen.
Wait a minute, Omar. Did you expect him to be a fine-tuned machine?
It has to be better than where it is. It has to be.
But of course, you're in early June. You can't. You gotta wait, bro. You got to give some time for all of this to develop.
You can wait.
But they're not going to be perfect. By the way, almost no one will be perfect in week 1 of the regular season. I mean, there's not enough practice time for established.
Don't make excuses. Making excuses is a very unhealthy practice.
It's not a matter
of bad habit doing.
It's not a matter of excuses. It's the reality of football. The way they have wussified it over the last few years. There's very limited.
You need to be further along than where you are, based on what I've seen.
How can you be further along when you're not hitting, Omar?
Football hasn't changed. I see the same thing for 10 years.
Yeah, but
the last time I seen
this is a brand new coach with a brand new set of players.
With was Tony Sperano, then Dan Campbell for a day. It's not like it's changed. What I see yesterday is the exact same thing I'm going to see in training camp. Exact. Exact.
It's changed because
No,
I
it's
was
the
I was
exact
covering it
thing
when they
I've
were
seen
like
in training camp.
they
Football
were
has
hit.
changed, but it changed a decade ago.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why it's harder now to get any
It's
offense or
not.
any defense in a groove when you don't have the same amount of practice. Hell, I used to cover mini camps where they had pads on.
Yeah. It's
Okay,
not. It's
so
not.
those are
You
different mini
have
camps when you're able to hit, bro. I mean, it's just different.
no. I remember watching a joint practice, Adam Gase and Carson Wentz, Nick Foles with the Eagles, where their efficiency level, I was like, man, this is what practice is supposed to look like. Same stuff I'm seeing right now, except for they have pads on. Same stuff. The efficiency level has to be higher. There has to be a
I'm sure
higher level of completed passes.
I'm sure they know that. I'm sure
There
they
has to
know
be
that.
a lower level of defensive linemen penetrating the pocket. Now, what I will give the Dolphins is I have seen one interception in all of the practices that I've watched. No, maybe two. And that's impressive. That's impressive. But outside of that, I got to see better efficiency. Now, I'll give you credit that the line, the defensive line is better than the offensive line. But they got Christian Wilkins out here looking like he's a superstar. Like
They're not blocking him.
no, they're blocking. They're just not,
They're not blocking, Omar. They have no pads on, Omar. They're not hitting. There's no real hitting, dude. There's no real football being played right now.
Okay.
It's hard to measure.
So you think that any team,
the defense knows the snap counts. They know exactly what's going on. They have their defense is set because they're playing under the same defense they've been under for 2 years. There's no adjustments for them. They're stepping in. Everybody else on the offensive side is thinking about everything that they have to do. It's different. One side
and
is
you don't
natural,
think,
the other
let
side
me ask you a question.
is
You
all
don't think that
unnatural.
was consistent? You don't think that was consistent with the Marino years and that all defense is generally ahead and
No, with
defense
the
figure
Marino
out
years,
the offense?
we can't compare the Marino years because you come back every year with Shula, dude. So they had continuity. That's a whole different ballgame. When you have
Okay, the
continuity,
Marino years with
hell.
Shula.
Jay
I
Fiedler
mean,
had
with
more.
Jimmy
Jay
Johnson.
Fiedler had more continuity than these guys.
I mean, that's by choice, bro.
I know, but that's what I'm saying, Omar. They have to build the continuity. So now it starts again. And you hope that this quarterback stays. You hope that this offensive coaching staff stays. And that way, next year, if it's the same one and the same coordinators, hell, now we finally have continuity.
Okay, by your mindset and mentality, then that means the Dolphins have a bottom 20 offense. Okay.
Well, no, they have no offense. No.
What are your expectations? Where is your bar?
Omar, there are no rankings right now. They've never had an offense. This is a brand new offense. I don't know what they are.
You're
we
saying,
are all hoping that it's better than what they had last year. That's all we're hoping. And if it's better than they had last year, if you won 9 or 10 games, you should be able to win, maybe 11 games or 12 games. That's what I'm hoping, that you're a game or two better than you were last year because you have a better offense than you had last year. That's all I'm asking for at this point in time. I need a better offense, but I can't expect a ranking. I don't know who the line is.
Let me ask you a question.
One of your running backs isn't even healthy. You're not wearing pads. The defense has all the advantages. I just think it's.
So let me ask you a question. Last year, installing a new offense with new weaponry, new line pieces. If I told you that at this exact point the offense looked better than it does now, would you be concerned or not concerned?
Last year's offense
Yes.
should look better than this one. Why? Because it still has some continuity from the year before. It still had some. It still had some of the same elements from the year before. It wasn't like a completely different offense. Those guys weren't smart enough to come up with a completely different offense. This guy has a completely different offense. So there was still continuity last year.
Okay.
Going in from the year before. This year, it's completely different. I'm just saying, before I judge them, I'm going to wait till they're actually putting on pads and they're hitting each other, and then I can assess it. But I'm not going to start now assessing late May and early June football when it's,
bro, camp reps next week. Camp reps next week. What you've been working on since April?
Yeah.
Over. Done. So This
And
is it. You come back and you
and
start
when,
over.
and that's when it starts to mean
And my
something.
point is, you're starting from a block behind the rest of the runners. So if you're cool with that, cool. It is what it is. Just don't have high expectations for the offense. Could they be better than last year? Hell, with a respectable line, everybody's supposed to be better than last year.
Well, then that's progress.
Yeah, but doesn't
Progress.
necessarily mean you have a good offense.
Well,
My hope.
if you're better than last year, that's progress. That's all I know. Because if you're
Okay,
better
so
than last year,
instead of the
Omar,
29th offense, they'll be the 24th.
if they get 4 or 5 people that can actually block Omar, you know they're going to be better this year.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, dude. They didn't have any.
One game. Yeah.
You had a quarterback that was one of the least sacked quarterbacks with an offensive line that had the worst worst pass block rate in the NFL. That's all you need to know. Give the kid time, give him a line, give him a running game, and there's no doubt in my mind.
Is he going to deliver a top 16 offense in 2022?
If you give him an offensive line,
is he Tua going to deliver?
Yes.
Okay.
Hell yes. Hell yes.
Yes. As long as that's the answer.
Remember, I'm on the train. You're not.
Yeah.
I believe in the
My
kid.
answer would be no, okay. But I know you're an optimist.
No, I'm not an optimist. I'm a realist. Give the man a running game and block for him, and I think he'll be a good quarterback. I'm not telling you he's going to make Dan Marino look like crap. I'm not telling you that Tua is going to become the GOAT and be the greatest quarterback of all time. All I'm telling you is he'll be a franchise player for you if you block and run for him. He'll make the passes you need. He'll make the plays you need. He'll be clutch when you need him.
I'll say he'll be a winning quarterback. I'm not ready to say franchise player, but I'll say he will be a winning quarterback.
I'm ready to say he is a franchise player if you do your part, like any other franchise player. If you do your part, run the ball and block for the kid, he'll take care of the rest. But I'm not going to judge him now in late May and June.
I'm not judging him. I'm judging the offense.
I know, but it's like I think you're a little too harsh on the offense right now, bro.
Nah,
it's a brand new offense, dude.
I saw one good practice in the 4 I watched. I saw one good practice, a bad performance, a poop show, and yesterday Tyreek Hill saved them, which he's gonna do for about 4 games a season.
Oh, that's what they pay him to do.
Yeah, so
I mean, that's what he is. He's supposed to be a dynamic player, a guy that changes the game.
He puts on the cake.
And he's gonna pull double coverage, and that's gonna open things up for Waddle and Gesicki and Said and everybody else and the running game also, which one of the running backs isn't even playing right now. And so there's so many elements to this offense. I've got to see the fullback in play, knocking the crap out of the middle linebacker that's coming free. That buys to another half second, 3/4 second, and all of a sudden there's a bigger play involved. All of these kind of things have to fall into place, but you won't see them in May and June because it just doesn't happen that way. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And plus, again, we got to wait till the offense gets to the point where they're comfortable, where we know what
I can tell you, I remember going back to the Ryan Fitzpatrick days, May and June, practicing pajamas.
Mm-hmm.
Looks stellar.
Yeah.
So, you have these low expectations.
Again, Chan Gailey coached him in 3 different places.
No, that was the first year. That was the first year with a coach. I can't even remember his name.
Oh, the guy.
They
fired from New England.
Receiver coach. Listen, I know what it's supposed to look like. It doesn't look like what it's supposed to look like. I even know I've covered 6 different head coaches. I've covered 11 different offensive coordinators. I know what a new install is supposed to look like. I've counted them up. It's not there. And even Mike McDaniel acknowledged, like, some of these practices have been rough.
They're not supposed to be good in May and June.
It's got to be better. It's got to be better.
I would have been freaking out if they had great practices. I would have been like, "Wow, this is pretty impressive in May and June." Brand new offense. They have never run it.
Freaking out. Why?
Yeah, because it's brand new to them. It's brand new. You got a whole bunch of offensive linemen that they're confidence has been shattered from the last 2 years. You've got a quarterback that's been beaten down for 2 years.
Hey, man, he doesn't listen to none of that stuff. He doesn't hear anything.
Right, no, until Ann tells him.
Yeah, he doesn't hear anything till Ann tells him. So
right, yeah, sure
yeah.
he does.
Even
His buddy doesn't tell him. His brother doesn't tell him. Yeah, his
brother, his dad doesn't tell. Hey, his dad, coach, his dad.
I bet his dad doesn't. I bet his dad doesn't. That I can bet that. I'll agree with that one.
I don't
believe that
know
one.
His dad, so
I don't believe his brother doesn't tell him. I don't believe Lee Steinberg doesn't tell him. I don't believe Lee Steinberg's assistant doesn't tell him. I don't believe somebody in the Dolphins PR department doesn't tell him. Bull crap. Plenty of people walk up to him and tell him. His dad, maybe not. His dad probably doesn't, his dad is probably tougher on him. Like a lot of dads, a lot of our dads. Like my dad was tougher on me than anything else, dude. I when I got spanked by the assistant principal in school, the only thing I begged for was don't tell my parents. That's all I wanted.
Was that an American school that was here?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. I had an assistant principal that paddled me with a paddle that said Toyota on it, and it had holes drilled into it for aerodynamics. He'd make you put your hands on the table, look at the wall, and then he'd say, "You want it? You asked for it. You got it. Whack! Toyota."
Toyota. What was it? A marketing?
That was the slogan. I know you.
Okay. Too old. Yeah. I'm glad you said that. I remember getting beat in Jamaica in school, and nobody beat me here. And I was like,
"Oh no, well, you're a little younger. Yeah, they stopped it already in your age. And my age, I had in catechism in St. Michael's, okay, in the early 70s.
So that wasn't public school.
No, the paddle was in public school. Was in Kinloch Junior High. Montoya was his name.
Junior high? You getting your ass beat?
It was no. I got paddled in elementary too, bro. I got paddled.
No, but I'm saying you were still getting your ass beat in junior high.
Yeah, I got paddled. Yeah.
Damn, you a bad kid. Oh.
I was a party animal. I wasn't a delinquent, but I skipped and I partied. So what can I tell you, bro? It is what it is.
Right.
But I had in catechism school at St. Michael's, we had a nun that would grab your fingers like this, grab the index and the thumb. She'd wrap it around like that, and then she'd grab a ruler. Whack, 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 whack. Boy, your fingers.
Why not? Why didn't your fingers
would be on freaking fire, bro? After that,
so that was worse than the palm of the hand.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes. When they hit you with a ruler at the tip. Oh my God, that's worse than anything in your head. Yes. But the worst part was when you told my mom and dad that it happened, because the ass kicking that came after that was like, I'd rather tell Montoya, hey, bro, paddle me 5 more times if you want. Just don't tell my parents. I don't care, bro. Okay.
Now you can't beat your kids. You know that, right?
How's that?
You can't beat your kids. It's child abuse.
No. Nowadays, I mean, forget about it. The way I was raised nowadays, I could have had everybody in jail in those days, but it was different. When we were kids and we got our asses kicked, the difference is we knew we deserved our asses getting kicked. We knew that we were going to get our butts kicked when we got busted. And when we got busted, we accepted the punishment and then we moved on. And the difference also is parents and kids in those days, like you could get paddled and whatever, or they can smack you or whatever, and 10 minutes later, everything is forgotten and you've moved on.
Worst fear in the world was getting beat in school. Worst fear.
No.
You could promise. You could say anything to me.
Home.
It was never worse than that.
No, home for me, bro.
No,
home, not even close, bro. You can do whatever it's like
and you never got the threat, I'm gonna come to that school and beat you in front of all your friends?
Oh, Chad O'Shea, by the way, is the name. Somebody pulled up to it. Yes. But listen, I'd rather get beat in school by the principal all you want.
No, but I'm saying your parents come to school and beat you in front of your friends. You never got that threat?
No. My parents would never do that. They would never do that. They would wait to, they got you away from everybody, and then ba boop ba bing ba ba, and and it's the Batman scene with the bing pang boom bow boom, all that coming out. Yeah, my parents never did it in front of people. That's one thing. They would look at you and go, wait till I get you home. Wait till I get you home. That kind of stuff. They didn't want to figure.
Yeah, I always got the thread. It never happened though. That got me right. Like, because I know you would do it, so that got me right.
I don't know. The beating I got at home, especially from my mom, was way worse than anything I got in school ever, bro. Ever.
Your mom beat you worse than your dad?
Oh, my dad barely ever touched me, because I would just crap bricks with my dad. He'd just look at me, and I was like, "Oh my god," I'm sorry, sir. That kind of stuff. I think he hit me once or twice. I think it was my mom that did all the beating: shoes, belts, brooms, whatever she had in her hand, bro, an iron, whatever. I got hit with whatever the hell she had in her hand. Not an iron. I'm exaggerating, but brooms, belts, and shoes and chancletas. Yeah, boy. Oh, I got plenty of that. I got plenty of that, bro. Plenty of that. Yeah. So yeah, it is what it is. So the good thing is that Mike McDaniel doesn't have to coach that way, with chancletas and shoes and brooms.
Different generation of players that would not respond to that.
Yes, I'm with you there.
They were never beat.
Did you pick up on the shot at Flo?
I picked up on he's not going to say his name.
Right, the shot at Flo. Okay.
I mean, he's just not going to say his name. So, I listen. I once had a dream of getting him on I Am Athlete. I don't think that's even possible.
Oh, no shot, please. Didn't you see what he said yesterday about trust and all that? No, just no. I gotta really know you. Oh, I like that. That is cool.
He is so guarded as a human being.
I told you.
Props. Hey, whatever made you that way. I'm not judging. I'm just saying it's a tremendous level of guarded.
Yeah, it's Derek Jeter was like that. There's a lot of guys that are like that in this league. They're just like that, man. And that, you know what? And I don't blame them. The way the world is, it's almost like when you're a star, you're an athlete, you're an entertainer, you're a politician. You should live a different life than the rest of us, because you have to live a life where you have to almost vet anybody that comes your way, because you just don't know where they're coming from and what the agenda is, man. It's terrible to be a famous person and a rich person in today's world, because you have no idea where people are coming from, and you must be guarded at all times. The worst thing is, Omar, okay, this is the funny part. We look at the Tuas and we think, oh, they're too guarded, right? And then we go look at the young buck that is completely unguarded and is doing anything and everything and opening themselves up to all kinds of issues. You know what I mean? And so it's two extremes. So finding the middle ground is really hard. So you're almost better off going to that extreme and saying, you know what? I need to distance myself from all things. You don't get close to Marino, bro. Ever.
Yeah, no.
Never. You never get close to Marino. It was Harvey Green, 5 minutes, and it was over, bro.
Same thing with nobody wanted to get close to Chad Henne, but Ryan Tannehill was that way. But it's a different level of guarded, where this is to his teammates too, which is I found very odd.
Yeah, like he's like and there's a lot of them that are like that they just don't let anybody in. Yeah, and I kind of get it, man. Well, you have to, and think about it. You're already being scrutinized for every little thing you do. Imagine if you easily let people into your world. Then they're going to be taking shots at all kinds of silly things that you may do, which have nothing to do with football. And that's just the way this world is. So I don't blame when some of these famous people are guarded because of the world we live in now, unfortunately. That's all. I don't really blame people. But yeah, I saw when he was talking about coaches being tough on him, he completely left Flo out. And you know what came to my mind was, well, I talked about coaches that are tough on me. I'm not going to talk about a guy that was an asshole. So there's a difference between being a tough coach and being an asshole. So that's the kind of the way I read that comment right there. He didn't have to say it, But you could tell that he wants nothing to do with that guy ever again. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Did they play Pittsburgh this year? You said they did.
Preseason. Unfortunately.
Oh, preseason. Damn.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
And they don't even practice with them for a couple days. They're the one team in the preseason that they're not practicing with.
No, I ain't practicing with Flo. Like,
yeah. That's funny. All right, what are you working on the Sun Sentinel? And I Am Athlete, right, tonight?
No, I did it the last 2 days. So
okay, so you're off. Good for
I get
you.
a Friday off. Yeah.
Right,
we got some stuff. They're in California right now shooting a whole bunch of I Am Athlete episodes with some dope guests.
So by the way, it's October 23rd, not the regular season. It's at Hard Rock. It's regular season, October 23rd, Pittsburgh, Miami.
What?
Is it at Heinz or is it here? Oh, it's a Sunday night game? Here or there? Here. Sunday night game here. How about that? Sunday night under the lights. Flo and his defense gets fried by Tua. Ha!
I'm sorry, Dolphin fans, for not knowing your schedule.
And in fact, let me tell you, Tua in that game is going to specifically, complete lots of passes against their linebackers.
Oh man, that's gonna be fun. I'm gonna make sure I'm watching that.
Isn't that your job for the Gazette?
Yeah, that's what it is. But yeah.
The good thing, about this joke, keeping it going, we've gotten people suckered completely into it, which is just absolutely awesome. It's just fantastic that they believe it. But go ahead as we have with it.
I have a column up there about Teron Armstead, about how basically he is the, he's the linchpin that makes it all work. I mean, as I said in the column I wrote many months ago and talked to you, that first wave of free agency where they added all those appetizers and side dishes, but no entree. I was just like, yo, where's my entree? Teron Armstead is the entree. Yeah. So we're watching practice right now without the entree, which is, it's cool. It's all right. And Tyreek Hill is a very important piece. But I would argue to you that he's not as important as Teron Armstead, because without Teron Armstead, this offense is going to be trash.
No. Yeah, amen to that. Amen to that. And let me tell you something. If Connor Williams really becomes a center, it becomes an even bigger signing than initially thought. Because if you solved your left tackle and your center, that's incredibly difficult
and your left guard spot.
Well, you have your right guard at least with Hunt, but yeah, I know the left guard and the right tackle.
Based on what I've seen right now so far, my only concern is the right tackle and the backup left tackle. That's my only concern on the team.
Okay,
I don't even worry about center anymore. Yeah, there's some snapping issues, but he can move people, whereas Dieter cannot. And you want to move people. The whole point of this line is to actually move people.
By the way, Dieter, this might be a blessing for Dieter. He's really not a center. He wasn't drafted to be a center. He was drafted to be a guard, actually. He was drafted to be a guard. They moved him to center, but out of necessity. But really, he's naturally a guard. So maybe this might be the best Dieter you can get if he's ever going to challenge for a starting spot. It might be that he's your challenge for a guard, and then he's your backup center in case of emergency. So you think this JC Treader thing is dead in the water now?
Done.
Okay. All right.
They're good. They've always been good. I never understood why they were good. And then when I started watching practice, I got why they were good. So I was like, okay, all right, cool. I get it now.
If that line works out, that'll be a beautiful thing. All right. Follow him on Twitter at Omar Kelly. Yeah. Catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel, as always. And you can also catch him at I Am Athlete. Not tonight, on Sirius, but you can catch him there also doing his thing. Oh, as always, have a safe weekend, my friend. All right? Stay dry, bro. All
yeah,
right?
man. The hurricane coming or what? I generally...
Nah. It's going to be a tropical storm, but it'll be north of us, and we'll just get a bunch of rain, a little wind.
All right.
No big deal. Right. It's you know what? It's all good for the foliage. So there you go, man.
Beautiful. That's what.
Yeah,
That's why I got that weed and feed down. I did it in the rain,
saturated,
baby.
That's it. Saturated, baby. There
I
you
did
go.
it in the rain.
Smart move on your part. Smart move on your part.
Yeah.
All right. You be good, my friend. Have a great weekend.
You too.
Thank you. There you go. Omar Kelly in our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report.